Hey, good morning, friends. Hold on, I need more coffee. Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I am up here doing my morning video because, well, we have some house guests that are actually downstairs in the man cave sleep right now. So I'm going to let them sleep, and I am going to go to work here getting prepared for tomorrow. I'm not sure how many people we got coming. I don't know. But I do know I've got to try and make sure that I feed everybody. So when you're having a big ass tailgate, you need a big ass bowl. I'm making a coleslaw here this morning for the pulled pork, and as of course a side dish here, I've got my man David Wiley, who's got a 50-pound bag of potatoes that he's doing. I got my man Jet D doing brisket and pork shoulders. We'll do the baked beans in the morning, and I'll pick up the burgers and the buns, or the meat for the burgers and the buns later on today, and the chicken wings. In between time and in the meantime and in between time, I've got the smoker and stuff out here that I got to clean up because we're going to use that as like a warming oven. I've got get the grill. I got to get the stuff out of the attic, the tables and chairs that we have, and, all that stuff so we can be ready to roll. And everybody's meeting here at like 6 in the morning so we can get ready to ride on over to the game. And we're going to have a ball. So, you didn't come in here for Julia Childs this morning. You came in here because of football. You came in here to find out about our Cowboys. And that's what I'm going to give you. For the first time in this season, we actually are having a couple of firsts. I guess that's why I'm saying first time. We're actually going to have Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence on the field together. If that weren't enough, I mean, it's hard to believe that going into the season, if you had said that Randy Gregory would miss about 4 or 5 games, and if you had said DeMarcus Lawrence would miss 10 games, you would have probably said our defense was going to be ass like it was the year before, and that Anthony Brown was going to start all season. But that defense has actually played really well, even without a lot of guys that we penciled in as starters. We thought, of course, that I need a bigger kitchen. We thought that Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill were going to be our mainstays in the middle of the field. We thought that they were going to be starters. And unfortunately, Tristan Hill never really got started because of the injury to his knee last year. He just got out there. He's been out there for 3 games and then got suspended for a punch after the game. So he's back this week. And of course, Neville Gallimore is back. The question, of course, is with Neville Gallimore is how much rust does he have? Surprisingly, D-Law coming back, I thought he would have had more rust than what he did. But he didn't. He actually had 6 pressures, which was outstanding coming back from injury. he should be getting even stronger, of course, this week, now that he's gotten that first week under him. And the Cowboys have the advantage of having that extra few days to get ready for Washington because of playing on Thursday night, which should be another advantage for the Cowboys going against the football team. Listed on the injury report, the only person listed on the injury report, including Zeke. Okay, that's Zeke, that's Dak, that's Amari Cooper, everybody. The only one is Tony Pollard. That's the only injury listed, and he's questionable. This time of year, you don't usually get that healthy. And this will be the healthiest that we've been. So not only is the first time this year that we've had Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence, Neville Gallimore, and Tristan Hill on the field together, we also have Micah Parsons added to the mix, who has become the heart and the soul, the lion of the Dallas Cowboys defense. We could be really seeing this defense, and let me tell you, what lot? We're in red zone lot. See, Gary, I'm getting messages left and right. That's why I'm up early. Even though the Washington football radio station was saying that the Dallas Cowboys defense was finesse. And when they say you're finesse, basically they're saying that you're soft. Yeah, we're going to see how soft they are. That defense could be getting better every week as we get towards the playoffs, which is what you need, because now the weather starts getting cold. It'll be 50 degrees tomorrow with 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, in which case it's a little harder to throw when it starts getting cold. And if you got to go to places like Green Bay, you want to be able to have a defense that jacks people up. You want to be a defense that gives your offense an extra shot or two by getting takeaways on the field. And that's where I think this defense is already headed. They've already been fantastic at taking the football away. But when you get Randy Gregory coming off that edge, and then DeMarcus Lawrence, who hopefully DeMarcus Lawrence is hungry and getting out there as well, and then having a couple of big guys that you can rotate in the middle, they're going to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. The thing that is going to be interesting to see, I just don't know how it's going to work out, is with Micah Parsons going to linebacker, more linebacker. He's still going to be rushing from the edges from time to time, but not as much. Is will he be as effective as a disruptor? You know, Randy White. I keep relying on my youth, okay? It's actually kind of cool because I told you guys about Rick Doc Walker. I quote Rick Doc Walker a lot. He's a former Hog, Washington football team, back in the glory days of the 80s and stuff. Really cool dude. The thing that I like about Rick Doc Walker is he is real. He's not going to sugarcoat stuff and tell you, oh, their Washington team's going to be great. If they're ass, he will be the first one to tell you they didn't bust a grape. That's one of his quotes. I always tell you that another quote of his, it's hard to be hungry when the refrigerator's full. And I've seen Doc a few times here and there. He actually introduced me to Pam Oliver down on the field in Detroit, probably like 2007 or something like that, which was cool. Got a picture of me, Pam, and Doc Walker and stuff down in the man cave. I know y'all can say, see, I told you he's a Redskin fan. No, guys, you can be a rival of somebody and not be, hateful. You can like players from teams for things that they do that are good and still hate the other team. And that's where I am. But Doc trolled me on Thanksgiving because, we got our ass kicked. He sent me a message on Facebook. Yeah, how's your Thanksgiving? It's like, okay, I got you. So he's starting out a podcast. Oops, a little piece of food. He's starting a podcast up, which I'm glad because he used to be on the radio. And I had a point here while I was talking about Doc. Oh, I was just talking about old school players. And so the rivalry. So I always refer back to older players and things that have happened in the past because they can help lead you to the future. Randy White, the reason why I thinking about Doc Walker because he sent me a message this morning. But Doc Walker and the old school players and things. When you had Randy White, a lot of you may not know this. Randy White was actually a linebacker. His first year for the Cowboys, he played linebacker, and he was terrible. Just awful. And that's where Tom Landry, at the time, the genius that he was, ended up saying, we're going to try you at defensive tackle. And they made it like a flex position. So the defensive tackle was off the ball just a little bit more. So that way he could see everything and make moves, because he still had the speed of a linebacker, but he had the strength of a beast. And that hybrid of between the two of them made him that Hall of Fame defensive tackle. I wonder with Micah Parsons, who has shined as a pass rusher, has the highest pass rush grade in the NFL, if he's better suited at being more of that rusher as opposed to being that linebacker. Now, we've seen him do pass defenses where he's gone up and knocked the ball, where we got an interception and a takeaway. You've seen him make really good tackles because, much like Demario Davis, when he tackles you, he's got great technique. He understands, I need to get my head across the body. You don't deliver the blow with the head when you tackle somebody. So this is the mistake you see with so many players these days, is they don't have the proper technique. What they do is they lower the head and they just try and hit a guy like that. No. If you really want to tackle somebody, you're coming, if they're coming, you're the ball carrier right now, okay? You're the ball carrier. You're coming straight across. I'm coming through here. I'm not trying to come through here and hit you in the head like this, because that's 15-yard penalties. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to come across so my head comes across the body. And this is where I'm actually tackling you with. I'm hitting you with this. My head is not hitting you head to head, keeping the head trauma out of the way. But what this does is I can then take my arms and I can wrap you up. Because back in my day, we had the long sleeves and the shirts, the jerseys, you could grab a hold of them. Now these things are form fitted. The shoulder pads actually have sticky stuff on it, so the jersey sticks to it. So there's nothing to grab here, which is why guys bounce off. That's why you have to get your arms around the body. See, you've got to actually go through and drive like this. Okay? That's what Micah Parsons does. And when you do that, you're stopping the momentum. Problem with like Jalen Smith was he was getting a lot of tackles, but he's kind of jumping at the legs. He's not meeting that force with force. He couldn't with that ankle. But you have to heat force on force because, for every action, there's a reaction. So when you bring that force to that force, it stops the momentum or pushes them back. And that's what Micah Parsons does. But it'll be interesting to see if those four guys right there, if those four guys can put pressure on the quarterback so you don't have to blitz, and you can have Micah Parsons more as a rover or an occasional blitzer, you can truly overload the offense with five guys, the offensive line. If you can overload the offensive line with those five guys, that leaves you six guys in the secondary. Six guys in the secondary. You have numbers to go against the receivers, and that's the advantage towards the defense. So we'll see how all that works out. In the meantime, I got about 4 gallons of barbecue sauce I need to make. I need to get this coleslaw. And here's a tip for you if you make a coleslaw. This is what's known as freezer slaw, because you can make it and you can freeze it in bags, thaw it out, and go. It's actually really simple. You take your vegetables and you get yourself warm salt water. Pour the warm salt water over it for a couple hours, and that'll help pull out the moisture in it. So what happens is your coleslaw doesn't get all soggy and wimpy. It actually stays crunchy. And then it's a vinegar, sugar, and celery salt seasoning that goes with it. And that's it. Real simple, real easy to go, but it's good because it's sweet and it's got a little bit of a kick to it from the vinegar. and you put that on the pulled pork, and I do a really sweet sauce on there. You get the sweets, you get the hot spiciness that I put in there because I have a little cayenne pepper and stuff. But it's a great flavor, and I have to pick up my 3-foot subs for all this. So I'm gonna get to work. Too big. Good morning, Roscoe. Looks like you and I are the only two up. I put more in there. Looks like it's only me and Roscoe up this morning. Stacy Schubert should be getting on the road about now. She's going to be staying about 2 miles from the stadium. Reverend Smalls is here, and I've got to go ahead and get a box to put his table in. And I got racks that I got to get painted. So it's going to be a busy, busy, busy day. But I love it. We going to have fun tomorrow, win or lose. I'll see you later.